gotta be a little bit quiet. It's really early here and the rest of the house is still asleep. Today, I'm going to take you guys on a very special bicycle tour / real estate hunting expedition in the Catskills region of New York State. So why am I doing this, you may ask? And that's a good question. Number one is I love riding my bike up here in the country. It's so beautiful. Number two is I think I can give you guys the benefit of my experience in case you happen to be thinking about buying your own getaway house in the country. Now that social distancing is a thing, and with the increased possibilities of remote work, who can blame anybody for thinking about more space, more nature, and the chance to create additional options for yourself for when the next pandemic or whatever strikes. So today, we're touring Sullivan County, New York, and we're traveling by bicycle, so hop on. Oh, and just to let you know, I'm saving the best for last, so stick around, because at the end, I'm going to show you the newest, hippest, most Instagrammable little town in the Catskills that everybody's talking about now that it got a big write-up in the New York Times. Whew. These hills. So I bought my place up here about 8 years ago, and trust me, I took my sweet time doing it. Okay, I gotta shift down. Whew. My wife and I were looking around for at least 3 years off and on before we found the perfectly restored 100-year-old farmhouse on 13 acres with a barn and a pond and an apple orchard. It's great. We love our place. Oh, and I know you're wondering, so I'll just tell you. We paid exactly $275,000 for it, and yes, it's increased in value. Full transparency, right? Why not? So, as you can see, you really can get great value for your money around here. The trick is finding the right house in the right location. And everyone wants something different, I get it. You know, some people want a huge house with lots of bedrooms for extended family or to have guests over. Other people want just a nice little tiny cabin. They're into that like small house movement. And whatever you're looking for, I guarantee you're gonna end up using what I call the triangulation method. That's where you map out all the cute little local towns and you triangulate your search around those points.
Hang your hat where your heart desires. On the range you're free to roam. Rest your head when you're feeling tired, for the trail is now your home. Riding is a way of life where you kiss your worries goodbye. For there you're as free as the tumbling weed, riding to the western sky.
Okay. We're at the first stop on our tour, Livingston Manor, New York, also known as Trout Town, USA. Did you know that the Catskills has the top-rated fly fishing spots in the US? And in fact, Livingston Manor is known as the birthplace of fly fishing in America? Have you ever even eaten trout? It's amazing. So fly fishing is a big draw here, but the locals keep a sense of humor about it. The annual trout parade is a very kooky event, but everybody up here loves it. It's kind of the Catskills version of Coney Island's Mermaid Parade. But Livingston Manor is blowing up, with several highly rated world-class restaurants, hotels, and inns opening up in the last few years. Between camping and fishing, the high-end lodgings, and the great shops and local eateries on Main Street, there's definitely something for everyone here. I'm going to put some links to my favorite local businesses in the description below. Okay, so this right here is prime house hunting area. We're a few miles outside Livingston Manor, biking past towns like Jeffersonville, Roscoe, North Branch, and White Sulphur Springs. There's so many great properties around here. I actually made a list of a few properties in the area for very reasonable prices. I'll link to it below. If you want any other suggestions, feel free to give me a call.
Riding is a way of life when you kiss your worries goodbye. For there you're as free as the tumbling weed, riding to the western sky. For there you're as free as the tumbling weed, riding to the western sky.
Okay, the next stop is Callicoon. It's a cute little farming town nestled right along the Delaware River on the western edge of Sullivan County. Callicoon is kind of my local town. We love coming here on Sunday for the Callicoon Farmers Market, which is the best in the area. My kids also love the swimming pool at the youth center in the summer and catching a first-run Hollywood film at the awesome Art Deco movie theater in town. Callicoon also has its annual tractor parade, when all the local farmers parade through the town on their prize vintage tractors. It's a huge event, tons of fun for the whole family, and firmly anchors this bustling little town to its history as a farming community. So, as you can see, there's a lot of farm culture around here, but there's also a legacy of the counterculture and artistic communities. This is, after all, the location of the Woodstock Music Festival in 1969. The 60s hit their peak right here in Bethel, New York. There's not much of a town center to Bethel these days, but there's lots of great properties around here. I put a couple of them in my list that I've linked to below. Okay, I've got another 20 miles to go to finish this trip, and as promised, I've saved the best for last. This isn't the biggest town that we'll hit, but it certainly is the newest. In fact, this town is so new, it almost doesn't even exist yet, unless you count an active Instagram account and a full-page spread in the New York Times style section as existing. Welcome to Mountaindale, New York. This is a dusty and forgotten relic of the bygone Borscht Belt days that has been reinvented, curated, and resurrected as an artistic destination in the Catskills. Mountaindale is the brainchild of visionary developer Butch Resnick and local cultural curator, entrepreneur, and publisher Nee Mundy. Butch grew up around here and ended up being the primary landowner of all the buildings at the town's center. He wanted to turn it into something desirable, so he hired Nee to curate the shops on Main Street and create a destination that creative types from the city would want to seek out. And guess what? It worked. The Main Street here is filled with eccentric shops and galleries, as well as 3 top-notch restaurants. I put a few properties around Mountaindale on my list, but there really aren't many available, and prices are rising. Mountaindale has the buzz, and it has the advantage of being only an hour and a half from the city. And it wasn't just Butch and Nee's influence that made this town. The Catskills has a vibrant creative community that seemed to have coalesced around Mountaindale. There are some great artists working here. Mike Osterhout is an amazing conceptual artist who built the town's sculpture park. I think Mountaindale proves the old adage that if you build it, they will come. And I'm so excited to see what's going to be built in Sullivan County in the next few years. This whole area is on the rise, and its renaissance is being led by the towns we visited today. But there is so much more here that I couldn't cover, and so much that is still to come. I hope you'll follow along as we track the evolution of Sullivan County. Or, who knows, maybe you'll end up being a part of it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.